Hey everybody, so tonight I'm going to be doing my first bookstore, thrift store haul video. Um, Although I wouldn't call it a haul. In my opinion, a haul would be if were able to grab, I don't know, 5 to 10 plus albums. I got two over the last week, but the one I found today I thought was pretty interesting. If you follow me on Twitter or Instagram, you already know what I'm talking about. But I went over to Half Price Books today. We actually had signed my daughter up for a reading. I don't want to say program, but it was like a little thing where if you read so much during the summertime, you got a gift card. So we took her up there to redeem the gift card, and of course, I had no intentions of purchasing anything. And while we were waiting for them to take care of it, I ran over to the vinyl and thumbed through it. And sure enough, I found a handful of things I wanted. I only had the money to buy one thing, so I chose this. The Who Live at Leeds. This is one that's been on. It's on my radar. I've got kind of a mental list of albums that if I see them and the price is okay, I'll pick them up. I saw this one. You can see it was $9.99 at Half Price Books. Usually when I go to thrift stores or bookstores, used bookstores, I'm just concerned with the vinyl. The cover you can see has got some wear on it. Typical ring wear. And what I'll do is I'll thumb through I'll pull out the vinyl and just check it out. If it's in decent shape, then that's usually all I'm concerned with. But what made this even more exciting was when I got home and actually opened it up and looked inside. All the inserts that came with it are still intact and they're still in good shape and they're still in there. So I'm going to go through and show you all that today. But that was pretty exciting to me because typically, as many of y'all know, for an album like this or Sergeant Pepper or Dark Side of the Moon, they all have a lot of posters or inserts in there, and typically that stuff either gets just destroyed over time or misplaced or lost. So again, it was pretty exciting to see that. The week before, my wife and I were looking for photo frames, and we were just going to Goodwill. And as always, if I stop in a Goodwill, I'm going to thumb through the records. And 99% of the time, it's something I'm not interested in. A lot of just Christmas albums that I don't really care about, and a lot of gospel and stuff that I'm just not into, and I'm not into collecting. So this particular time, I went in and they had a couple of things in there. They had like an 80s compilation of hits album, but the problem was they just had the cover. There was no album inside of it. But then I came across this, and the opening track of this song is probably one of the most recognized songs in music. I just thought it was kind of funny during the Olympics that I found this for $1 at the thrift store, and the vinyl is in fantastic shape. So I picked it up for $1. You can't go wrong with that. I came home and played it, and my daughter is a toddler. Starts running around the room full speed, which I thought was kind of funny because she's just still running around the room. Now I've got a song for her to do that too, which is kind of hilarious. But yeah, so again, that's what I got in the last week or so. Again, I wouldn't call it a haul, but something I found when I was out and about. So we'll kind of look at them, go over them as I always do. I have kind of I don't know, I would say theory, but I've got kind of a game plan when I go in and I crate dig. One thing I especially half price books, I've had really good luck looking at the albums that have outer records protection. Most of the stuff, I'd say 95% of the albums they have in their racks are they're just in there without anything, just the cover and everything, just normally. But occasionally you'll go in there and there'll be a handful of them that had sleeves. And today was one of those days I went in there and there was just a whole bunch of albums in there that had outer record sleeves. So immediately I start going through there. This was one of them. They had Bridge Over Troubled Water by Simon and Garfunkel. That's another one that I don't have and I really would like to get. But again, I pretty much had the option to pick one, and I definitely, I think, made the right choice. The Bridge Over Troubled Water that they had there didn't have the inner protective sleeve, so the record was just in the cover and the sleeve by itself. I mean, the record was in pretty decent shape, but, again, when you're having to flip a coin on two albums, I think I made the right choice on this one. I went through as fast as I could when I was doing it, and again, this was the one I wanted the most, but out of what I found. Check out the vinyl first, because there's a lot of inserts. I believe, just from what I researched, this is a first pressing of this album in the United States. If I'm wrong, please let me know, but according to Discogs, the first 150,000 US pressings of this album had the inserts. Again, this could be a reissue, like an early reissue, but just what I could tell, everything pointed that this was an original United States pressing. You can see a little bit of discoloration here on the corner, but again, not a big deal to me. I'm not concerned with it. And there's all the inserts, which was awesome. Receipt for smoke generators. For Woodstock. That's pretty cool. It's got a little bit of frayed edges here. This probably got caught in the crease on the jacket. Still looks really good. Just a little crease here. Cancellation letter. And the Who are not the type of group that they would let go in their ballroom. EMI Records rejection letter. Poster's in good shape. So again, yeah, real happy with that pickup. Everything came in pretty good shape. So the Who live at Leeds. And this won't take long just to go through the Chariots of Fire. Getting a little bit of sleeve wear. Now these at the Goodwill, these were just placed in tubs. I mean, they're just thrown into some tubs. So, I mean, the fact that this thing's still even intact is impressive enough. And it came in its own little inner sleeve, which clearly is not the original, but again, for $1, I'm not complaining. But the vinyl was in great shape. I mean, it's both albums needed they're going to need a pretty good cleaning. But again, not going to complain. If you don't expect to go crate digging and have to clean your vinyl when you get it home, then you're probably in the wrong hobby. Yeah, so a couple of weekend days and running some errands resulted in a couple of decent albums. I'd say Chariots of Fire, decent album. The Who live at Leeds is fantastic. Live, one of the best live albums out there. Subscribe. I've got more coming. I actually have what I would call a haul coming to me via eBay. I have no idea what the condition is of the albums. I basically got them with shipping price for about $1 a piece. So I'm hoping that, the condition's pretty good on them. But yeah, subscribe. I should be here later this week, and I'm definitely going to do a video as I open the box up and take a look at them. So follow me on Instagram, subscribe to YouTube, follow me on Twitter, and I usually try to keep pretty active, daily posts. So it's not just a waste of a follow, but thanks for watching, and keep in touch.